We are here because we have been invited by the Supreme Court of Rwanda to help their judges in understanding the application of international human rights law in domestic courts. And as the United Nations, this is something that we are very, very keen on sharing with national institutions and national governments to ensure that international norms can be translated into domestic settings. And our work with the Rwandan judiciary is in that context, to ensure that judges understand what conventions have been ratified by the Rwandan government and how those conventions and the norms in those conventions can be translated in very concrete ways in domestic courts, so that when they have litigants in front of them, they can cite international human rights law, and they can make their decisions on the basis of international human rights law. We have a number of topics that we are dealing with during this workshop, and the main topic is actually the application of international human rights law in domestic courts. But out of that, we are also looking at the international human rights mechanisms, the ratification of international conventions by states, and in this case by Rwanda. We are looking at how judges can apply those commitments that have been made by Rwanda in courts of law. Judges receive a lot of complaints, they receive a lot of cases before them. We want to make sure that in dealing with these cases, they have a human rights-based approach that is informed by the international human rights mechanism. And that is why we want them to have a very, very solid understanding of what the international human rights system provides, and in, concretely, how to ensure that those norms can be translated into domestic law, but most importantly, how they can be interpreted when they come before them in courts of law. The United Nations has a key role in ensuring the rule of law and human rights. Human rights is one of the key tenets of human rights of United Nations work, and that is why we want to make sure that in all the countries where we are working, there's a very clear understanding of what the international human rights system provides, what the international conventions provide for, and what ratification of these conventions mean for countries. So that is why we are very, very pleased to be working with the institutions in Rwanda, in this case the judiciary, to ensure that they understand how to translate those norms into domestic settings.